On my screen, you can see that there are 64 different 21 Pilot songs that I am going to rank, and we will see which one can come out victorious. Okay, so at the 1 versus 64 spot, we got Jumpsuit versus Robot Voices. Jumpsuit is like an perfect intro, I feel like, for Trench. It fully encapsulates the vibe and mood of the whole album, and I just love that build up so much, all the way up to the scream. Tyler does such a great performance. As for Robot Voices, it's such a feel-good song. Honestly, I don't think it should be 64 on this bracket. I think I got a little unlucky. Honestly, I was hoping Robot Voices could have gone a little bit farther, but Jumpsuit is just, honestly, in my opinion, one of the best 21 Pilots songs. It's gonna be hard to take it out. Jumpsuit has the edge. Guns for Hands and Hometown, both from two eras that are okay, not my favorite eras. I do prefer the eras after Trench minus Scaled and Icy. Definitely not bad songs from these eras. That's tough, man. That's tough. Hometown, parts of it are a little bit more boring in my opinion, instrumentally wise, than Guns for Hands. Josh on Guns for Hands is pretty insane. The lyrics are very, very meaningful on that song. The lyrics are fine, but I don't think Josh gives his best performance on Hometown as well. I think because of that, I'm gonna pick Guns for Hands here. Yeah. Backslide from Clancy and Center Mass. Both songs winning into the rapping side. I love Backslide lyrically, and the production on Backside's also, I guess the best way to say it is like raw, and the lyrics are pretty meaningful on there too. For Center Mass, I love the rapping a little bit more on Center Mass than Backslide, and the ending of Center Mass is just absolutely incredible to me. I also think the drumming on Center Mass is better than Backslide. Honestly, even though Backslide is the 16th spot, I think Center Mass is better. The Outside versus Doubt. The Outside, honestly, it's a little boring in my opinion. I guess in the story, The Outside is pretty important, but I think lyrically it could have been better. I think Josh is fine on this one. I think the production is fine. I think some parts of it are interesting, but there's like a solid like minute to minute and a half that's just not that interesting in my opinion. I do like the music video of The Outside though. I like the music video, if I have to give it one thing. Doubt is, honestly, I don't like Doubt that much. It's kind of annoying to me. I don't like it when he says, like, Doubt repeatedly over and over again. Honestly, I think The Outside clears. Trees taking on One Way. Both, I'd say, are highlights on their respective albums. Trees is obviously one of the most iconic 21 Pilots songs. It's the song that they play at the end of every concert. One Way is, like, a very vibey song, whereas Trees is more like an anthem. I love One Way's production though, and the drums are also very good. One Way could have made it a couple rounds, but I think because it's playing Trees here, I think I have to go Trees. Morph taking on The Contract. Both, once again, I'd say are highlights on their respective albums. Morph, I feel like just fits the Trench mood so well. The production, the drums are amazing. I love Tyler's analogy about morphing in the actual song itself. I love the lyrics on this one. I don't know if it's one of my favorite lyrically on Trench, but so many of them are really good lyrically that I don't think that really matters. And for The Contract, the production on The Contract is insane, and Tyler gives a pretty crazy performance on that one too. The auto-tune Tyler uses, I don't know how I felt about it at the start, but I think I've gotten used to it enough to like it. And the screams he also put are some of the craziest he's ever done. This is probably the closest one we've had so far. I gotta think about this one. I think my only problem with Morph is towards the middle of the song, it feels a little bit more stale. Like the rapping parts. I don't know if I necessarily like the flow of Tyler's voice on this one as much as The Contract. I think that might be the deciding factor. I think I'm going to go The Contract on here, although it's very, very close. Nico and the Niners and Tally. I'm not sure why Tally is 56 on this. I think that the seatings are a little messed up, but honestly, I don't think that'll matter towards the end. Nico and the Niners is a great song, lore-wise. The lyrics are amazing. It's very catchy. I love the production on it so much, like so many of the other songs on Trench. Whereas Tally is just a really fun song in general. I mean, it's really catchy. The lyrics are, I'd say Nico and the Niners has better lyrics, but Tally's lyrics are still pretty decent. And then the scream in Tally is very good. Like the ending part, I love that part of Tally as well. I'm going to give this one to Nico and the Niners. I think lore-wise, it's just so important. The production is really good. The lyrics are really good. Both pilots are at their best. I think Tally just got a little unlucky, but it's a close one. It was a close one. The Line and Oldie Station, two very, very good songs here. Honestly, I was hoping both of them would go very far, so this kind of sucks that they have to play each other. But you got The Line, where obviously you got that crazy Tyler performance at the Game Awards, I believe. Had one of the craziest screams, I think I've ever heard in a live performance. Not just a 21 Pilots performance, but in this modern era of music. The song itself, lyrically, is very, very good, and the production is also very good as well. It's like a giant build-up almost, which I love. And then you have Oldie Station as well, with great instrumentals. I love the synth towards the end of Oldie Station and the message. It almost feels like a Jenna song. Honestly, I think this is a tough one. I think I'm gonna go with The Line here. I think it's very close though, but I'm gonna go The Line. Next is Bandito taking on Downstairs. Bandito from the Trench album is very well written. In terms of lore, is very, very important. I love Bandito so much. It's not one of those build-up songs, but what I love about Bandito is I feel like it just never gets boring. Like, there's something about it throughout it that just keeps you interested. The production is amazing on that song too, and the ending is so memorable. And it was obviously so memorable that they brought it back in Clancy. So Bandito is definitely going to be a hard one to beat. And then you got Downstairs, which honestly, I don't think it's close. I'm taking Bandito here. Downstairs is honestly probably one of my least favorite songs on Breach. I don't think it's like terrible. I think they've released worse stuff, but I think that Downstairs is just really boring and repetitive. Like, it's the same chorus, and it gets a little bit annoying. And like, the production is like fine, the drums are fine, the lyrics are like decent, I guess, but like the way it's delivered, like Tyler's performance, I just don't like on the song at all, to be honest. And that might be a hot take. But I think Bandito clears. Also, the beginning of Downstairs, I don't know how people listen to that. It's so annoying, how Tyler starts that song. I don't understand Downstairs, honestly. Next, we got Levitate taking on Midwest Indigo. Levitate from Trench, I think, is actually the best rapping performance we've ever seen from Tyler, and it is one of my favorite songs on Trench for sure. I love the little transition from Jumpsuit into Levitate. It transitions so nicely. The production is so smooth. One of their best produced songs, in my opinion. The drumming is great on Levitate as well. And then Midwest Indigo is another, I guess, decent song from 21 Pilots. Not my favorite off Clancy, but definitely not a low light whatsoever. I like Midwest Indigo. I like the production on it. I like the lyrics are fine. I think it's a pretty fine 21 Pilots song, honestly. It's not like their best song. It's definitely not their worst song. I think Levitate easily gets this though. Legend and Vignette. I love Legend, honestly. It's so good lyrically. I think it's talking about his grandfather, if I'm not mistaken. But it's such a nice message, and the production is very good. And then you got Vignette. I love Vignette. Like, the instrumentals on Vignette are pretty crazy to me, honestly. Like, when I first heard it, it was probably one of my favorites off Clancy. It probably still is. Honestly, I'm feeling a little upset right now. I'm thinking I might choose Legend. I just love the message on that song so much. Even though Vignette is very, very good instrumentally, I don't listen to it as much anymore. I'm gonna pick Legend for this one. Next up, we got My Blood taking on House of Gold. Starting off with My Blood, it is so well produced. The instrumentals are so good. I think that is one of, if not the best produced songs on the album Trench. It is just so smooth throughout. Tyler is really feeling himself on this one. And then House of Gold, I know a lot of people have a lot of memories with this one because it's a lot older. It doesn't really resonate with me that much. I don't dislike it at all. I think it's a fine song. So I think this one's pretty easy for me. I'm going to pick My Blood. Here we have a very interesting matchup. We have Paladin Straight taking on Cottonwood. I don't think Cottonwood should be this low. Once again, the standings are a little bit weird. I don't think it will matter later on. Both songs very, very good lyrically. Obviously, Paladin Straight is a big part of the lore, I'd say. I think that it was very well produced as well, and the music video for Paladin Straight is insane to me, like the graphics and everything. You got Cottonwood from the new Breach album, one of the most underrated songs on Breach. I think it's so good. It's so sweet. It's the Jenna song, I think. The synths are very good. It only sounds a little spacey towards the end, which I really like about that. Probably one of my favorite parts. It just feels like a whole dream once you get to a certain part, and it really resonates with me. So this one's gonna be pretty hard, honestly. I think both are really good. I'm gonna go with Paladin straight here. We got Redecorate and Mulberry Street. I'm not sure if I've expressed this yet, but I don't like Scout and Icy. There are some good songs in here. But I do like Redecorate, and I don't mind Mulberry Street. I think the rapping performance on Redecorate's pretty decent. And then Mulberry Street is kind of just like a vibe. I think Redecorate takes this. I think the message is a lot more meaningful. And also, there's like a point in Mulberry Street where it just gets pretty boring in my opinion. I think it's more towards the end. Like right before the trumpets, it just gets dry. Holding On to You, taking on Raw here. Holding On to You is, I guess some people would like to say in the 21 Pilots community, a cult classic. Obviously, you got that famous line towards the end, Entertain My Faith, which came up later in the lore in City Walls, such an iconic line. And the build-up throughout the song is just absolutely insane too. And obviously you got the synths. The music video is pretty cool too. Just a really good song by 21 Pilots. And then you got Raw Fear, which is a lot more of a track where Tyler kind of just vibes out a little bit. Towards the end of the song, it gets a little bit stale in my opinion. Holding On to You takes this one though. Goner and Truce. The build-up on Goner is pretty insane. However, I do think that it's a little repetitive to get to that big climax. It's a hard listen until I'd say the final, like, minute and a half-ish. But the message is pretty good on Goner, I'd say. And then Truce. Truce is such an impactful, emotional song. I don't listen to it just because of how emotional it is. It's not really, like, playlist-worthy, if you know what I mean. But I'm gonna go with Truce, though, just because of how impactful it is. Now, we got, I think, the hardest matchup of the video. Chlorine and Drag Path. I'm not sure why this thing put Drag Path at number 63, but I mean, here we are. Okay, Chlorine, very, very catchy. The ending part is so dreamy. I love it. The lyrics are very good in not only a message standpoint, but also with the 21 Pilots lore. And then Drag Path, which was kind of, I guess you could say, the real closer to Breach. Drag Path is so good. It's so emotional throughout, so catchy. The lyrics are amazing. Josh's drums, like always, are absolutely amazing. They were amazing on Chlorine as well. There's so much I could talk about with both these songs. This is going to have to be my hardest decision, honestly. Even though it's a 2 versus 63 seed, I think I'm going to go Drag Path on this one. I think it's just so impactful, honestly. Even though Chlorine should not be going out this early, but I think Drag Path is one of their best songs ever. Migraine and Shy Away are up next. Migraine, honestly, I'm not a big fan of Migraine, surprisingly. I don't know, for me, I kind of just overplayed it a bunch and got bored of it. And then Shy Away is I don't listen to it that much, but when I do, I honestly, I think it's kind of a vibe. The production on Shy Away is pretty good too. I think it's one of the best on Scaled and Icy. I know that's not saying that much in my perspective, but I do think that. This is interesting. Honestly, I think both are kind of mid. I'm going to give this one to Shy Away though. Stressed Out and City Walls. Everyone knows Stressed Out. I don't even have to talk about that. And then City Walls, I mean, when I first heard it, I loved it so much. The instruments on that song are insane, and by that, I'm talking about, some of the distorted effects, the drumming. Tyler's lyrics are amazing. He brought back the Entertain the Faith, which was an insane moment, such a big part in the lore, and then the music video, too. There's a lot of stuff that come with City Walls. Even though it's going up against Stressed Out, their most popular song, I think I'm gonna go City Walls here. This is the best song, not the most popular song, and I think even though Stressed Out, very nostalgic, lyrics are very relatable, I think I'm giving it a City Walls here. Now we have Leave the City and Message Man. I'm not wasting your guys' time here. I don't like Message Man. I don't think it's a very good song. The chorus, in my opinion, is kind of annoying. I don't think the production is that great. I think Leave the City wins this one. And then we have Next Semester and Days Lie Dormant. Next Semester, when I first heard it, rock anthem. I loved it. Kind of related to it too at the time of my life. So that's definitely, in my opinion, one of the best on Clancy. And then Days Lie Dormant, honestly, I have a lot of opinions on the song. I think that it was honestly a good idea. I liked the start, I really did, but as soon as it hit that bridge, it just kind of ruined the song for me. I don't know. They've done so many songs on Breach that had a similar thing where they have this kind of out of the ordinary bridge and then it led to this crazy moment. I don't think Days Lie Dormant did this correctly though. And while I like certain parts of the song, I think that ending part really didn't do it for me. And when you're going up against Next Semester, that's gonna cost you. I got Next Semester. Now we got Pet Cheetah and Heathens, two songs I'm not like the craziest fan of, to be honest. This one's tough because I don't really listen to both of these songs that much. I'll give it to Pet Cheetah, I think. That's not saying too much. I'm just gonna move on. The Hype and Level of Concern. Hype was originally like my favorite song on Trench. It's so catchy, the chorus. The production on that song is also very, very good as well. And then Level of the Concern. I love Level of Concern, honestly. It came out during the pandemic. I think it's so appropriate for that time period. I think it encapsulates that time period as well. Production is great. Tyler had a good performance. Josh had a decent performance. Production is decent. I think the one thing that it does for me, and the one thing that's going to dictate my decision here, is the fact that Level of Concern doesn't really resonate with people anymore because the pandemic has been over now for quite some time. And I think that's going to hurt the song a little bit as the time moves forward. As we've seen, it kind of has hurt the song already. So that's really the deciding factor here. I'm going to pick the Hype. Navigating and Semi-Automatic. Navigating, I think, is one of the best, if not the best songs on Clancy. Another one of those rock anthem type songs from the Pilots. Drumming on the song is absolutely insane. Just a little attention to detail. It's just such a highlight. And even during the transitions, like, it really sticks out on this song. And Tyler also gives a very good performance. There's a lot of good things you can say about Navigating here. And then Semi-Automatic, I don't return to that much, honestly, but I don't hate it. I respect it for what it is, that the message is fine. I think the production is also fine. It is a bit catchy, too, which is good. In a good way, it's catchy. I think it's on the better half of songs on Vessel for me. But yeah, I think Navigating takes it for me. Next, we got Car Radio and Garbage. Music video is very impactful. The lyrics are very impactful on Car Radio. It's a decent song. I have some complaints that I'll get to later. And then Garbage, honestly, is probably one of the lower rated songs for me on Breach. I just think it's so dry. Like, I like the idea with the piano, but Garbage just, it's not garbage. It's not garbage, but it just gets stale. It gets stale. The lyrics are, like, fine on that song. The drums are decent. It's just, like, a really fine song, in my opinion. I do think Car Radio is better. Next is Tearing My Heart and Choker. For Tearing My Heart, I love the lyrics on that song. I love the piano. And then Choker, I think, is honestly pretty good. I've seen people think it's like a hit or miss. It's a hit for me. I love the instrumentals on Choker, like the synth during the chorus hits really hard. The drums are pretty good on Choker, like always. I think that's a recurring theme in a bunch of these songs. The lyrics are decent. I think I'm gonna go Tearing My Heart though. I think it's just a lot more impactful for me. Overcompensate and Drum Show. I love both of these songs. I have no idea why they put Drum Show at number 51. But we will deal with it. So, Overcompensate, such a good intro. I actually really like the rapping on Overcompensate. I think it's some of his best, Tyler's best. The drumming is absolute peak. There's a really good bridge in Overcompensate as well. And then Drum Show, another one of those rock anthems. I love the scream in Drum Show. I love the jokels. Obviously, the drums are really great. It's called Drum Show for a reason. This is a hard one, honestly. I don't know what to pick. While I've been talking, I've been thinking about it. This is hard. I'm gonna give it to Drum Show. But I do think Overcompensate was snubbed of a longer run. Heavy Dirty Soul and Screen. Heavy Dirty Soul's drums are insane. That was like the first song that like really introduced me to Josh Dunn drumming. Like, if you haven't heard it, then go listen to it right now and listen to the drums specifically. They're just so iconic. And then Screen, Screen's an interesting song. I don't return to it, but I don't dislike it. I don't dislike Screen. The lyrics are nice, honestly. I like the lyrics, so it's kind of a highlight on Screen, I'd say. But I think Heavy Dirty Soul does take this pretty easily. Then we have Routines in the Night and Christmas Saves the Year. Routines in the Night is a very vibey song. I like Tyler's rapping for the most part on here. Honestly, I mean, the production's very good. The drumming's good. I really like Christmas Saves the Year, though. I mean, it's a great Christmas song. I love my Christmas music. I think that it really encapsulates the vibe of that time in December, and I have it on my Christmas playlist, so it definitely does its job for when the time is right, but that time is for only 1 month out of 12. So I think even though Christmas Saves the Year has an argument, I do think Routines of the Night does take this. Then we got At the Risk of Feeling Dumb and Cut My Lip. I think that At the Risk of Feeling Dumb is one of the best songs on Clancy. I didn't think I'd like the when he says drop a bunch on that song as much as I do now, but I actually like it. It's kind of a vibe. Good combination of rock and rap in my opinion. And then you got Cut My Lip, which honestly, I know a lot of people like this song. It's not really my thing on Trench, honestly. I don't hate it or anything. I don't even like think it's mid. I think it's like a decent song, but I think At the Risk of Feeling Dumb kind of clears it, honestly. So yeah. And then we have Ode to Sleep and Intentions. I have a lot of stuff to say about Ode to Sleep, but I'm gonna save it for the next round. I got Ode to Sleep in this one just because Intentions. Here's the thing about Intentions, right? I think it's a very good way to close out the whole story, but I mean, it's just a reverse of Truce if you think about it. So, I mean, it doesn't really have an argument to beat Ode to Sleep at all, in my opinion. Even though I guess it's very impactful in a way, I think Ode to Sleep does win this one. And finally, we're finally at the end of the first round. To close it out, we have Neon Gravestones and Ride. I feel like Ride hasn't aged well with some of the instrumentation. I forget what's called, like reggae, I think is what they call it. Like feel in Ride is kind of made it sound like just so 2010s, but it has not made it sound very good in the 2020s era, in my opinion. So it just hasn't aged well. It's sort of like level of concern almost. And then, but like Neon Gravestones is just such a good song, man. I mean, I know it's sad, but the meaning of it is just so impactful, and it's some of the best, if not, and I will say this, one of, if not the best lyrics that Tyler has ever put out under the 21 Pilots name. It's just so impactful. So I think Neon Gravestones easily wins this one. And that is going to do it for the round of 64. A lot of really good 21 Pilots songs had to go, sadly, which sucks, but that just goes to show you how many good songs they have, in my opinion. So now it's on to the round of 32, and we'll see from there. By the way, just a disclaimer, before we start this round of 32, I'm going to go a little bit faster now, doing some of these brackets, but if I do feel like I need to express how I feel about some of these songs, then I obviously will. Thank you for sticking around, though, if you are still here, and let's get into the round of 32. Starting out the round of 32, Jumpsuit and Guns for Hands. Two very good songs in my opinion. Jumpsuit, I think, gets the edge here for me, just because the production edges out Guns for Hands. I do like the drums a little bit better though on Jumpsuit. And the build up towards the end is just very, very good. So Jumpsuit does take this one. Center Mass and The Outside. This one is pretty easy for me. I'm gonna take Center Mass here, specifically the ending, you know? I would say overall the song doesn't have a lot of stale parts while The Outside does, but the ending is really what makes Center Mass so great. I mean, everything about the ending, the lyrics, the instruments, obviously Josh, everything about that ending of Center Mass is amazing. I think it moves on to the round of 16. Trees and The Contract. This is interesting, honestly. I don't immediately know. Trees is more like a cult classic, and it's more impactful for 21 Pilots fans as a whole. But The Contract is just like an insane song, like production-wise and lyrically. Weighing all the options, I think The Contract does have the edge, even though Trees is arguably their most impactful song. But it's very, very close here. I'm going to have The Contract win. This might be a hot take. This might be one of the hottest takes of the video. But The Contract gets it. Now we have Nico and the Niners and The Line. Both are so well produced, and both lyrically are amazing. I think Nico and the Niners gets the edge lyrically. Production-wise, I might give the edge also to Nico and the Niners. I don't know. I mean, I think everything The Line has, if you think of all the aspects of The Line, I think Nico and the Niners has better. I think I'm going to go Nico and the Niners here. Next we have Bandito and Levitate. Oh my god, another insane matchup. I mean, both these songs are, at least for me, top, honestly, maybe top 3 on Trench, honestly. Like, this should not be happening in the round of 32, but it is. Production-wise, I think I give the edge to Levitate, but that's just because I love the production on that song. Like, so much that it's like one of the best produced 21 Pilots songs in my opinion. But Bandito has also really, really insane production as well. I think I give the lyrics here to Bandito though, just because like lore wise, the lyrics on Bandito are just so important. I'm gonna give it to Levitate. Tyler has his best rapping performance on this one. Then we have Legend and My Blood. My Blood's production is just so smooth, so vibey. The lyrics are great. It just encapsulates the feel of Trench so well. I have to give this one to My Blood. Now we got Paladin Straight and Redecorate. I think Redecorate is good, but it's on Scaled and Icy. And I don't think that, even though it's one of the best songs on Scaled and Icy, I don't think it says a lot. I think Paladin Straight clears Redecorate, honestly. I mean, the story on Paladin Straight is amazing. The music video is crazy. I know I've been saying to focus more on the song, but I have to put the music video a little bit as a factor because of how good it is. I think I'm gonna go Paladin Straight here. Then we got Holding On To You and Truce. Honestly, while Truce is such an impactful song here, there's not really an argument for it over Holding On To You. I guess you could say just because of how impactful the lyrics are, but I mean, Holding On To You has just as good lyrics in my opinion, and the production's insane. I'm not gonna waste your time. I think Holding On To You gets it here. Then we got Drag Path and Shy Away. I'm gonna pick Drag Path here as well. I think Shy Away is pretty good. I give it its flowers, but I mean Drag Path is just on our level. City Walls and Leave the City. I think Leave the City is pretty underrated. I'll say that to start. It's a great closer to Trench. It's so emotional, especially after going through that entire roller coaster that Trench brings. I think it's the perfect closer to such an amazing album. It's up there for one of their best closers. But then you also got City Walls as well, which I'm also very high on. Just City Walls is such a crazy song to me because of how well it's produced. I don't know, man. I don't know. You have an argument, a real argument for both, honestly. I'm gonna go City Walls though. I'm gonna go City Walls, but it's really close here. And now we have Next Semester and Pet Cheetah. Next Semester clears. I don't really listen to Pet Cheetah. Not much to be said here. Next Semester. Then we got an interesting one, The Hype and Navigating. I think Navigating also, like the production on Navigating is really good. Honestly, I think it's less more about the hype and more just how good and how highly I think of Navigating. If I were to put it to words, the drums on Navigating are insane, like I said earlier. I got Navigating on this one. Next, we got Car Radio and Tearing My Heart. I'm gonna explain this one a little bit. I think that Car Radio is overrated, man. I do. I'll tell you why. I know how impactful it is. I know how good the lyrics are. I do like the production at some moments, but when it's at the moments I don't like the production, I really don't like the production. Like, it just feels really stale. Like, the first part of Car Radio, in my opinion, is just, like, so dry. The entire song just feels like you're waiting for the climax and not really enjoying the build-up like other songs do so well, like Bandito and, other songs I'm forgetting right now. Jumpsuit, you know? The build-up just doesn't feel enjoyable in this song to me. I know you have that part at the end with where the synths all come in. That part is cool, but I also feel like it's a little overrated as well. Just because, I don't know, it feels more like at the end, almost like a radio edit, if I'd like to say. I feel like the ending kind of reminds me of like a Calvin Harris song almost. That might be a crazy take, but that's just how I feel about it, and I don't think it's a crazy song production-wise, you know? And I think that's really what's gonna do it for me here. I also think Car Radio, it just because of all these flaws, I don't really listen to it that much. So I think Tearing My Heart clears the song, honestly. I got Tearing My Heart. Next up, we got Drum Show and Heavy Dirty Soul. I will respect Heavy Dirty Soul here. I am taking Drum Show. I think that Heavy Dirty Soul, lyrically wise, even though I think I was praising its lyrics earlier, I think the bridge's lyrics are a little out of place, honestly, for my liking. And I also think that sometimes the distorted production doesn't sound the best, but that's on certain parts of the song, not the entire song, you know? I think Drum Show does take this one. I think the highs on Drum Show are really high. Now we got Routines in the Night and At the Risk of Feeling Dumb. I respect both of these songs a lot. I respect Routines in the Night. I respect At the Risk of Feeling Dumb. Routines in the Night is a vibe. I know it's their most popular on Clancy. And At the Risk of Feeling Dumb is more of an underrated song in my opinion on this album. Like, I don't see people talking about it as much. But I really like At the Risk of Feeling Dumb here. I think it was on my Spotify Wrapped. I think that's how much I liked it. So for me personally, while I respect Routines in the Night, I like At the Risk of Feeling Dumb better. Then we got Ode to Sleep and Neon Gravestones. I think the production on Ode to Sleep, I think it's overproduced. I think it sounds too techy on Ode to Sleep. and it also sounds a little out of place sometimes. At least for my liking, I hear like two different production styles intertwine. While I guess it kind of works, it's just not for me, honestly, the song. I do think the lyrics are very impactful in Ode to Sleep as well, but when you're playing a song like Neon Gravestones, which I think has the best lyrics out of any 21 Pilots song, I don't think that's a factor that can win it over Neon Gravestones. Tyler's voice on Ode to Sleep is a little annoying, honestly. I don't hate it when he raps, but when he raps on this song, I don't think I just don't like the flow he has, honestly. But I think Neon Gravestones takes this. It's such an impactful song, like I said. I have it. I mean, it should be going far, but I say that about a lot of songs. We'll see. Neon Gravestones has it, though. And that is going to do it for the round of 32. Now we're going on to the round of 16. If you are still here, thank you so much. And let's just get into it. Yeah. Starting off Jumpsuit and Center Mass. This is a really hard one for me. Because Center Mass, I'll just say it right now, it's my favorite off Breach. While Jumpsuit, it's one of my favorites off Trench. But because of how good Trench is, it has a real argument right now. This is hard, man. This is really hard. I think I've expressed what I've loved about both these songs a number of times now. So I'm just going to have to choose now based off of... It's really close. It's really close. I'm going to give this one... Okay, this hurts me to do this, but I'm going to give this one to Jumpsuit. Even though I really want Center Mass to move on, I will say one thing that gives the edge to Jumpsuit is the fact that the song, while I personally like the rapping, Jumpsuit doesn't really have any flaws, I feel like, throughout the song. While as Center Mass, some could argue that the first couple minutes sound dull. Especially, I'd say, that chorus part at the beginning could have been a little bit better. It's really close, honestly, for me, but I'm going to pick Jumpsuit. Now the Contract and Nico and the Niners. This one's a little bit easier for me, honestly. I think the Contract has had its time. Nico and the Niners is just so good it just outperforms the Contract lyrically, production-wise. I think Nico and the Niners gets the edge here. Then we have Levitate and My Blood. Levitate, you got the rapping performance, My Blood, the production. We've talked about these songs already a lot. For me, personally, I think, honestly, I listen to Levitate more. I think that's what it's going to come down to right now, because I don't really know what to choose. Both are produced really, really well. I'm going to give the one to Levitate. I'm going to give it to Levitate, but there's an argument for both. We got Paladin Straight and Holding On To You. This one might make some people a little mad. I'm going to pick Paladin Straight here. I think it's one of, if not their best closers. I think it's a masterpiece. I don't think I've said this yet, it encapsulates the vibe of almost like being on like a pirate ship, which I love that vibe. Whereas Holding On To You, honestly, it's not like it's a bad song at all. I'd say it's more how much I like Paladin Straight rather than how much I dislike Holding On To You. I think Holding On To You is still great, very iconic, production's great. I think it just ran into a hard song for me because Paladin Straight is just one of my favorites off Clancy, so I'm taking Paladin Straight. Then we got Drag Path and City Walls. This is probably one of the most interesting matchups. I think I'm going to give this one a Drag Path. When I heard it for the first time, I was like, how the hell is this not even on the album? While I think the production on City Walls is insane, I think the production on Drag Path is better. I think just everything about City Walls, Drag Path just does better, honestly. Even though they're both amazing songs, I'm going to pick Drag Path. Okay, and now we got Next Semester and Navigating. This is tough, because both these songs, I have had spurts where I have listened to both of them nonstop, over and over again. They both had their moments for me. They're both very similar, too, where they're rock anthems, like I've said multiple times. Both have amazing production, both have amazing drums, like always, both have amazing lyrics. I think, I'm gonna throw a little curveball. I think a lot of people expect me to put Navigating here. I'm gonna go Next Semester, because I think I relate to Next Semester a little bit more than Navigating. And, I think I also really, I don't think I talked about the ending of Next Semester. I think it's a perfect way to end that song, and it's just so calm. I think Next Semester moves on here, but it's very close. Tear in My Heart and Drum Show. I think it's very close, honestly, but I'm going to go Drum Show here. I'm going to go Drum Show. And once again, it's not about the flaws of Tear in My Heart. It's just about how good Drum Show is. And, I mean, that song is so replayable. Tear in My Heart is also replayable, but I can see sometimes if people were to get bored of it. And finally, to close out the round of 16, At the Risk of Feeling Dumb and Neon Gravestones. On one hand, I absolutely play At the Risk of Feeling Dumb more, but on the other hand, I respect Neon Gravestones so much. The only reason I don't listen to it more is because it's so sad, honestly. I'm gonna go Neon Gravestones. I think that At the Risk of Feeling Dumb is very, very good, but the lyrics on Neon Gravestones are insane. I've said this twice, I'll say it again, the best lyrics Tyler's ever put out on a 21 Pilots song. It's just so memorable. Yep, Neon Gravestones got it. And just like that, the round of 16 has come to a close. And now we're going on to the quarterfinals. We're so close, and a winner will be crowned soon, so stay tuned. Starting off with Jumpsuit and Nico and the Niners, both have had incredible runs here. Jumpsuit is one of my favorites off Trench, and I think it does get the edge over Nico and the Niners here. Next we have Levitate and Paladin Straight. I love Paladin Straight so much, man, but I love Levitate as well. Levitate is just such a vibe. I love the lyrics on Levitate. I love the production. I love Paladin Straight though. I think what does it for me is I think Levitate has had a good run. I'm gonna give it to Paladin Straight though. Once again, it's more just my opinion at this point, rather than a song being good or bad at some points. I think Paladin Straight is honestly a perfect song. Okay, we got Drag Path and Next Semester. Another really hard one. They're all hard at this point, man. I am gonna give this one to Drag Path. I think the production on Drag Path is pretty insane, and the emotion on it is also pretty insane. Everything Next Semester does, Drag Path does just a little bit better. I think that's just gonna be the edge over it, honestly. Finally, Drum Show and Neon Gravestones. And then we're on to the next round. It's getting close. I really respect Neon Gravestones, though. I really do. I'm gonna give it to Neon Gravestones. Okay, so Jumpsuit and Paladin Straight. I've talked about the strengths of both these songs so many times already. This is really hard for me. I love both these songs so much. Okay. This is honestly, at this point, this is just my preference at this point. Like, both these songs are on the same level, absolutely. Like, they both deserve to win the whole thing. They both deserve to go to the final two. This might be controversial. I know a lot of people like Jumpsuit. I'm gonna go Paladin Straight here. That's my pick. And then, finally, we got Drag Path and Neon Gravestones. This is another really, really tough one. I mean, Neon Gravestones has had an insane run. I mean, I feel like not a lot of people would have expected it to get this far. Like I said again, this is just preference at this point. I'm gonna go Drag Path. I think Neon Gravestones run ends here, but salute to Neon Gravestones, man. So the finale will be between Paladin Straight and Drag Path. I honestly did not expect this. I've already talked about all the strengths of both these songs multiple times. It's really hard at this point, man. I mean, this may be recency bias so far, because both of them have made it, but I think both are perfect songs, honestly. I think after consideration, I think I'm going to be choosing Paladin Straight to win this bracket. I think Paladin Straight is the best 21 Pilots song for me, and this is my opinion. And yeah, that is my 21 Pilots Ultimate Bracket. I hope you enjoyed. If you made it to the end here, thank you so much. Leave a comment if you made it to the end. Tell me what you agree with, disagree with. I'm open to any arguments about my picks. I probably made a couple bad picks, and I probably did some controversial things in this video. But thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe if you can, and have a great day.